Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the late podcast. What movies do you like? This is me, the Cup. Jason is a Cup with.
Me,
Who are you?
Mac.
No, you're not.
Oh,
You've
hello,
not.
it's me, Jason is a cub.
Yeah, hi, it's me, Macadoodle24.
or, what's the other guy? Tyler? I'm Tyler.
Who's the other guy?
I can't remember his name.
uh, welcome back, everybody.
I
It's
forget,
good
like,
to.
every name ever.
True.
Sorry.
Hey, you're fine. Welcome back, everybody. It's nice to see you. Today, in this episode, we're going to talk about two movies that are somewhat similar to each other, but aren't necessarily the same. Elvis and Priscilla. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I could be doing it wrong. I don't know. I suck
it's
at pronouncing
Priscilla.
things. I suck at pronouncing things.
Yeah.
But
This is our combo. Bad at remembering and bad at pronouncing.
yeah, that is a
But, like-
dangerous combo. But
Bad at remembering but good at pronouncing, and then, like, bad at pronouncing but good at remembering.
that's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Before we talk
That's how it
about
goes.
that, I figured we should give our 2 cents on the whole upcoming Oscars thing. The Oscars 2024. Keep in mind, folks, we are talking with this because by the time this gets uploaded, the Oscars are going to happen in like a week or two. So we're talking about this in mind that you've already read the Oscars, or you already know it's nominated, but in case you don't, I'll just have a link down below linking to the Oscars website just so you see what the nominations are. But in that case, one specific thing I'd like to note is you remember in our previous episode when we were talking about Jodie Foster during the intro and how she was in the new movie?
Yeah.
She's now.
She's nominated.
Yeah, she's nominated along with that other actress. What was her name again? Hold on, give me a second. I have the
The other one
Wikipedia of
for
it.
Nyad?
Yeah.
It's Annette Bening. I happen to be looking.
Yeah.
Annette. Yeah, Bening.
I've heard she deserved her Oscar with American Beauty, if I'm right. I almost messed that up and said American Pie.
Nobody included in that movie should get an Oscar ever, I think.
Nothing in that movie deserves an Oscar.
If you participate in those movies, I'd just go.
But yeah, for the Best Picture nominees, I've almost watched all of them. By the time of recording this, I'm hoping to see The Zone of Interest by Monday, if my theater doesn't do anything ridiculous. But it's a pretty solid selection so far. The only one I don't like was the Bradley Cooper one, the Mephisto. That's not how you say it at all. I can't fucking pronounce shit.
Maestro?
That's literally what it is. Why did I thought it was like
I heard you
that?
say like a manifesto.
I don't know, dude. But yeah, that movie. Oh my god, it was so dull. It's so.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah,
So
you should
we
probably
care.
stay away from it. But I watched it because I'm a gentleman, I guess. I don't know. And like, I don't know, dude.
Bradley Cooper's Gentleman.
Bradley Cooper's Gentleman. That movie was so fucking boring. Like, it's so crazy how that's nominated for a screenplay when the screenplay is absolute dog shit. There's so many times in that movie where they try to emphasize something about like the relationships between the characters, but nothing is communicated well at all. It's so fucking weird how it's presented. And I honestly would have given it a lower score if it wasn't for the fact that the directing in that film was actually really damn good. So you're lucky for that.
If you don't get like best directing, yeah, I got it pulled up.
Yeah, no, he's
I'm
not
gonna do
good
some
at best.
predictions right now.
Yeah,
Actor leading role, Paul Giamatti. Supporting role, Mark Ruffalo.
I hope Mark Ruffalo gets it for supporting actor, but I think it's gonna go.
For real.
You know, honestly, you know who I think it's gonna go to? Everyone says Robert Downey Jr., but I think it's actually gonna be Ryan Gosling because I feel like the Academy is gonna consider like culture impact, and let's be honest, Ken made like such a huge impact in pop culture, regardless if you like that or not.
Yeah, my mom
But-
just sent me a picture of her rental car. She hit a dog the other day and messed up her car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That took me a second. I was like, wait, what? What did you say? But
I was like, what's this from
uh, I think
Yeah, I
actually,
agree. I think Robert De Niro, he's freaking old. Who cares? Although I heard
okay,
that Killer of the Flower Moon was really good, and I hope
it's
we watch
good.
it.
It's just that it's kind of too long. It kind of suffers the same problem as Oppenheimer, where you could have told it in a more condensed way. I like, although Killers of the Flower Moon is much more interesting as a story. It's definitely a more like intriguing film. Um, I think Lily Gladstone's probably gonna get Best Actress, which would be pretty cool. I thought Emma Stone did a better job, but I'm not gonna complain if Lily Gladstone gets it.
I still need to watch. I mean, I gotta watch these Oscar movies. Lily
Well, some of them you
Gladstone,
can
yeah. I
ignore.
think that she deserves it. I haven't seen the movie, but I think that
Yeah.
she should. I've heard good things about her.
I think
I
Divine
did see
Joy
a clip of her
Randolph
speech thing that she did.
and wait, Lily
Let's see.
Gladstone?
Yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
she did a speech about Native Americans in movies
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some award show.
Yeah, like I remember that. I don't know if she specifically remembered this. I remember in the 70s when the main actor, I feel like I should remember his name, but I don't, won Best Actor for The Godfather. I think a Native American woman accepted it.
Oh,
Everyone is, yeah, you remember that?
no, I was trying to think of the actor's name. It's the guy.
It's the guy. But yeah, she was talking about how Native Americans are being like heavily
Al Pacino.
mistreated, and then like I think like some random guy actor just went would try to beat the shit out of her for no reason, and then Clint
She's
Eastwood decided to make fun of it afterwards. It's like, okay, buddy,
check
four
out this guy's a hate crime, isn't
four
that?
time
What
winning
is his
Oscar,
deal?
by the way.
I mentioned him last night whenever after we watched Nimona.
Yeah,
Watched Nimona
he
last
looks
night.
so soggy.
He does. I
It was
mentioned him and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did something bad, but I can't remember what.
yeah. I mean,
Mm.
yeah. The
Found it.
the Flaming Hot Cheeto movie got an Oscar nomination, which I
For
find to be
best,
really.
like, song, and it's like, that movie
I
had an original song
I
in it?
listened to a bit of it. It sounded like what retail workers would be forced to listen to, if that gives you any idea. I
Okay,
like,
I'll listen to it.
and not even like a good song too. It's just like the most like generic pop music ever, but you would just hear it 50 times because it's the biggest hit right now. That's what Flaming Hot sound like. That I think. Um. Oh yeah, that's another thing I'd like to mention. What do you think is gonna win? Because obviously Barbie's gonna win Best Original Song, but do you think it's gonna go to "I'm Just Ken" or "What Was I Made For"?
What was I made for is like the superior song. I'm just really glad that Dua Lipa danced the night didn't get on there because I hate that song so much.
Oh, you hate that
I
song?
think that she should not make music.
Oh, you're talking about the. Oh yeah, I remember now. Like the scene where they're dancing in the Barbie at Barb House.
Yeah, the
Barb.
oh, dance the night away.
Oh yeah, I
It's just
honestly
really
forgot
annoying
about
and
it.
it's everywhere and I don't like it. It's like no wait, no. Worst song ever is Happy by Pharrell Williams, but that one's close.
Yeah, it's already lost. Um. What are? Do you think Oppenheimer is gonna clean sweep the Oscars, or do you think there might be
No.
some? Oh, why?
Well, okay, for the Oscars it might. It's
It's
got
not
enough like pretentiousness to it that it could sweep.
pretentiousness. Interesting.
Like it's so slow.
It was also slow my
It's
brain.
so slow. It made my brain slow. I had to
Your brain turned to
go
sludge.
outside during that movie because the fire alarm went off.
Oh yeah. We watched that. Well, we mentioned it in the
Like
last
5 minutes
podcast. We were
after
watching.
the bomb went off.
Well, when they tested the bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Oppenheimer, and I wouldn't be too upset about it winning Best Picture. But honestly, if you ask me, Poor Thing deserves it, and maybe even The Zone of Interest. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, go watch that in theaters.
Yeah, I will. Uh, unless like Movie Scoop is just like no.
No, you
Uh,
can't watch it.
Past Lives is pretty cool to see it getting a Best Picture nominee. Although the only thing it got besides that is like Best Original Screenplay, which is interesting. It has a good chance about getting screenplay. I feel like not picture, Best Picture or whatever. But I also we've already gone on for a little long, but I have to mention one last thing. So I'm in the middle of watching all the documentary short films. The short films are fucking hard to find. Like you literally have to like search like the desert and the beach to like find some of these fucking short films. But the documentary short films, I've been able to find most of them. I want to mention one in particular because the fact that it has an Oscar nomination is genuinely embarrassing. Um,
Oh.
it's called The ABCs of Book Banning, and dude, it manages to be a short film, yet feels so unbelievably stretched out of its premise. Like, I don't know how you accomplished that, but it took forever to get to finish. And it's not anything it's saying I'm disagreeing with. You know, book banning is stupid and all that shit. It's just that, I mean,
Yeah.
not only that, but it has the worst presentation I've ever seen in a documentary. Literally, a high schooler can do this. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. A high schooler can do this. And if this was like released like I don't know, like 2 years ago, then fine, you know, COVID and stuff like that. But this is fucking 2023 that we're talking about, or 2024 if you want to talk about now, whatever, blah blah blah. Like you shouldn't have like a fucking PowerPoint presentation as your style. It's genuinely one of the worst looking documentaries I've ever seen in my life. It's so terrible, and the fact that it has an Oscar nomination, and I genuinely think it might get it because of the subject matter. Which,
Yeah, it could.
and
But like, surely not. If you said it's as bad, if it's as bad as you said.
it's so bad. It's so fucking bad. I'm being generous when I gave it a 3. I think it might deserve more of a 2 because it's so fucking terrible. Like genuinely.
I feel like with documentaries, you can get pretty creative, but
Yeah,
I
and
guess some
I
people
I
aren't
would have
as
loved to
good
see
at
this
that.
explored. It's just that it does the most baby basic bitch way of doing it. It's like, okay, we're gonna make the kids read it. It's like, okay, that's cool. That's the
That
whole
makes sense with the title.
that's the whole short film though. It's just kids talking about, whoa, that's crazy that this is banned. Let's talk about another book that got banned. That's the whole fucking documentary, and
That sounds like a YouTube video.
it
By
does.
like
It actually does.
BuzzFeed in 2016.
But yeah, that's all I have to say though.
Or what's the other one? Jubilee,
I don't know.
where they like get the kids to try like new foods or something.
But that's all I have to say about the Oscars, and we'll probably talk about it more during the next podcast because we'll probably record it before, after the nominees, the Oscars. What the fuck am I saying?
I don't know.
But yeah, we're hoping to give some input on that. But for now, just again look at the nominees, see what you think, and I'm hoping for Poor Things to get at least a few things because that film is genuinely incredible. It deserves like all the Oscars it got nominated for. Like I give it an 8, but I honestly could see it being a 9 if I gave it a rewatch.
What, Poor Things?
Yeah, Poor Things.
Nice. I still gotta watch it, and then
Yeah.
I'll report back to you and be like, yeah, it was good.
All right. So in that case,
Probably.
we're gonna finally talk about the 2 films for today. Do you want to
I
start?
do have to say,
Good.
I'm looking through and I found the animated short film category.
Yeah.
And tell me why one of the nominees is War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Oko. Why are we making a John Lennon animated short film? Come on, bro. That's all I gotta say. Okay,
Man,
now time
that's
for
gonna win.
movies.
I haven't seen it, but
I
I'm
hope
calling it
not.
right
I'd
now.
rather whatever Letter to a Pig is. That sounds cool, man.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to start with the Elvis Good film?
Elvis good film.
Like the one that like idolizes Elvis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep our alphabetical thing going.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get into Elvis now. This was my film pick because I decided, you know what? Let's pick something where I could potentially cause suffering and pain and agony. And I mean, it's if you've seen any biopics, the plot to this is pretty similar. This is basically just showing the rise and fall of Elvis Presley, whom, if you don't know, then you're probably 5, because I feel like even now his like music has been like so like integrated into real real life like culture and stuff. I
Yeah.
suck at speaking sometimes. I swear to God.
If you know like elderly rednecks, or if you watched like Full House, Jesse's like obsessed with Elvis. Yeah, you know Elvis.
This is directed by Boz
They're
Luhrmann,
always obsessed
who's
with him. I don't know.
this is directed by Boz Luhrmann, who previously did Romeo plus Juliet, Moulin Rouge, and The Great Gatsby. I've seen all those films, 2 of which have been because of school, and the other because of another reason. And
And one of them is really cool because they sword fight with guns,
yeah, but they
and
call
it's
it
called shooting
swords.
each other.
And I remember watching that in middle school. I'm like, dude, that's so badass. What the fuck? but uh,
This movie's funny.
with Elvis, I genuinely like. I already had low expectations going in, but I genuinely found this to be one of the most unbearable movies I've watched in a good while, and I hated most things about it. I feel like I'm just being things I like. They're very few, and I genuinely am baffled this got as much Oscar nominations as it did. Sure, it's a biopic, but even then, like, what the fuck? I know you have a different opinion, Mac. Why don't you share yours?
I thought it was good. It wasn't anything special, but like it was like fun to watch. It was over the top, which made it like fun to watch. But if it was less over the top, I think it would have been really boring.
Really? I honestly thought the
Yeah.
film was just. This was genuinely the most boring film I've watched in a good while. Like, I
There was
genuinely.
always like music playing, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah. I
That and I
gen.
watched it with Robbie, and you
Yeah.
watched it by yourself, so.
I guess so, but I don't know. I genuinely found this movie to be so fucking boring. Spoiler-free discussion for now, by the way. In case you
Yeah.
can't see the timestamps, or if you're just listening to this to audio, whatever. Like genuinely, this movie was so fucking boring that for a good while I've been pretty good at not pulling out my phone while watching movies. Because back then I had a kind of a problem with that. I was too dependent on my phone
I knew that.
when I was watching a boring movie. I was like, oh, this is so boring. Let's see what is on my like fucking like Instagram or something. Let's see if any of my friends are sending me shit. But I've been better at that. Elvis was the first movie in a good while where it was so fucking boring and so damn slow. I genuinely had to pull out my phone to like keep myself focused. Like that's how bad it got. I genuinely could not keep paying attention. Like the story is just like any biopic. I know it's about a real life person, but still, just kind of boring story wise. I don't really care about. Again, it's weird to say this. I don't really care about the people it's portraying. I was never really a huge Elvis fan. I maybe listened to a few songs here and there, but I never really considered myself like a big fan of Elvis. And honestly, this movie did absolutely nothing for me to change my mind. I'm like, he's a talented singer. That's kind of it. But yeah, I genuinely found this so frustratingly dull. And I know you said that it's like over the top, and that's why you found it entertaining. But I'm curious as to why as to why.
I will with some negatives too. First of all, the editing
Ugh,
is like
this got a best editing nominee. Like, I'm not kidding you. This had a potential chance.
editing is dead, and art is dead.
Dude.
If this wins, best
Dude,
editing.
dude, this genuinely had a chance to defeat Everything Everywhere All at Once for best editing. Can you imagine what that would have fucking been like if that were the case?
That
I would have
I
actually
don't think
passed
has
out.
Edgar Wright ever had a film nominated for best editing?
Baby Driver, but it lost to Dunkirk, which is another Christopher Nolan film.
That's just a war movie. Why does it need best editing?
I don't know, dude.
Maybe it was pretty good, but like I didn't watch it.
I think that's the only film that's been nominated for best editing of Edgar Wright. That is Baby Driver.
But Baby Driver is just Drive. but he likes listening to music because he's like neurodivergent or something. I don't know. He's not. He's got like tinnitus in his ears.
Okay.
I was gonna watch it. I was really interested in watching it, but
Oh.
then Kevin Spacey and then Ansel Escort.
And now Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. I forget about that.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't really
Although
care about
although I don't know if the Jamie Foxx thing is like 100% true or not. There wasn't really a lot of like story closure about it.
It was something from years ago, right?
No. This like came up like actually I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
fully
thing
remember the story.
that happened was years
We're getting
ago, or was it like something that happened recently?
we're getting
I don't know, I didn't look
distracted.
into it.
We're talking about Baby Driver.
Kevin Spacey's
In Elvis.
gross. I don't know why he's still in movies. He's not in Elvis. But honestly, he probably would have did a better job at the Colonel than
Tom Hanks was so bad.
Tom Hanks. This is his worst performance in a movie
Ever.
And he's a great actor.
Yeah,
Why
he's been
did
in a
he
lot
do
of good
so
stuff.
bad in
Like
this
I
movie?
watched like two other Tom Hanks movies in the same month that I watched this, which are both 2002 films. They were Catch Me If You
He's
Can
so good.
and Road to Perdition. Both films, he does like he's not gives like a insane performance, but he does a really good job, especially in Catch Me If You Can. He gives a really good performance there. But
He's Forrest Gump.
yeah, he is Forrest Gump. He also won an Oscar for playing a gay guy, so that's cool.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
What movie is he gay in?
Philadelphia. That's the name of the movie.
It would be a movie called Philadelphia.
But yeah, but getting we jumped like through negatives. Yeah, the editing is absolutely terrible. There's so many scenes that are just way too quickly edited, and the editing is so bad that some of the other Oscar nominees that got that I genuinely could not tell if the nomination was worth it. Like this film got a Best Cinematography nomination, and I mean, there were some scenes that were kind of well framed, but I can't fully tell if it deserves it because the editing is just so frantic. I can't
I
100%.
feel like
Good.
Wait, I gotta go find the cinematography. Okay, there it is. I feel like Oppenheimer has to win Best Cinematography because like the whole movie felt like we need an Oscar for Best Cinematography.
I think it's gonna go to Poor Things, but again, we're getting distracted.
Yeah. Okay, there's this very specific scene. I watched this movie like weeks ago. I think I watched it whenever everyone was like snowed in. Like a couple weeks ago. But there's this one scene that me and Robbie just pointed out was like so terribly edited. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's the Colonel and Elvis, and they're on the Ferris wheel,
Yeah.
and they're at the top, and they
Oh yeah,
talk
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
I
He
remember.
gets him to like sign with him or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the Ferris wheel starts going again, and it shows like the full Ferris wheel, and it's moving slow. It's a Ferris wheel, but then they transition that with the spinning record, a record spinning really fast, and it was like so off-putting. It's like
It was a Batman transition pop up.
I think it would have been a lot better if the record was spinning at the same speed as the Ferris wheel. That would have been cool, but it was just like obnoxiously fast. I don't even think records spin that fast. It's like
One specific thing that I remember that I really hated about the editing is that there's a lot of moments where they put forced digital zoom-ins. Did you notice that as well? Like there were so many scenes that just had like digital zoom-ins. It was so off-putting.
yeah, I think so. It's been
Like,
a little bit since like it's been like a couple weeks, but
like that's shit you do
I
in a YouTube video. That's what YouTubers do, not professional movies.
yeah, like they have professional cameras,
Yeah. But yeah,
but it's Baz Luhrmann, so
that is true. And there's a lot of times where it's just so weird how they're presenting it because it's obviously meant to be kind of like hyperactive because of the time period, you know, from the 60s to the 70s. You know how like people call that time period like this was the time where like pop, well not pop, but like just music was going crazy and the colors and everything. So I think it was trying to replicate that, but it just felt so weird watching it. Like it was like, okay.
yeah.
Going back to Tom Hanks, like what the fuck, dude?
Okay, because at first I thought he was doing that, like, that stupid, like, southern aristocrat accent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from the south, so, like, I know all of the
Yeah.
accents, you know? But, you know, he's doing that whole, like, oh, ma'am, thank you for the rhubarb pie type accent. You know, real drawn out like that. Almost like a more old man version of, like, Forrest Gump if he, like, had an IQ above 60, you know? But then it's like, wait a minute. Is he doing, like, an Eastern European accent now? And then later in the, well, I guess, like, spoiler, later in the movie it's revealed he's actually, like, an illegal immigrant from from Europe, and it's like,
I think I must have been numb at that point because I don't remember them mentioning that.
it was like one scene where he got he got investigated by, like, the authorities. They're like, we know what you are.
Oh,
like,
I remember that now. I remember it now. Yeah, yeah.
And then he goes to Elvis. He's like, we can't go overseas. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that now.
And I was just like, oh man.
What?
But, like, he switches between the accents. I don't know what he was thinking.
But let's get
He's
into
always sweaty.
let's get into the main meat and potatoes. What was your thoughts on Austin Butler's performance of Elvis Presley? Because that's what everyone talks about with this movie. They talk about Austin Butler's performance. So, what do you think?
Okay, he looks the part, like a gross amount. But other than that, I think he's, like, severely overrated in this role.
That's what I mean. He was
Austin
getting
Butler
so
is,
much
like,
Oscar buzz.
big in other things. I think he's trying to play this up. Like, oh, he kind of just looks like that.
Oh, he just looks like that.
They did the hair and makeup that made him look a lot like Elvis. Like, but let me see his other things he's in so I can find. Oh, he's in Aliens in the Attic. I forgot that.
Austin Butler's gonna be the new Dune film.
Yeah. But this is his biggest role since, like, Disney Channel, so I think he's just trying to play it up a lot.
Could be. And you know how he said, like, the film ruined his voice, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like he keeps coming back for more attention. He's like, oh man, I had to get therapy because I was Elvis.
Because I was Elvis. It scared me so much.
Mentally, I'm still Elvis. I need help. It's like,
Help!
what?
Oh God!
He really won a Golden Globe for that.
Oh yeah, he did. Because I think he won like the BAFTA award for that. Which, listen, I haven't seen The Whale yet, but I'm gonna just say, without even watching it, that I think that Brendan Fraser probably deserved it more.
Well, yeah.
Again,
I think they also put
seen
too
it.
much makeup on him, which isn't really his fault.
He
It's
did
the
look kind of
makeup team's
yassified
fault.
at moments.
Yeah, he had, like, Elvis probably did walk around with eyeliner a lot, but, like, I don't know.
Alright.
It looked spooky. It's like a wax figure type deal.
I do agree with you that I thought his performance was really not that great. Not that it was like poorly delivered or anything. It was just more he was fine enough. Like, he looked like Elvis.
He did good with what he had, I'll say that.
Yeah, and
And it was a lot better than Tom Hanks.
there was a good chance that he could have gone Best Actor too, because you know how the Academy is with, like, biopic roles, like Robbie Malek winning for playing Freddie Mercury, Eddie Redmayne for playing Stephen Hawking. There's other ones that I can't think of right now. Oh yeah, Meryl Streep won for playing Margaret Thatcher. I'm not kidding you. She won for playing Margaret Thatcher.
I forgot there was a Margaret Thatcher movie.
Yeah.
It would be Meryl Streep in that one, huh? Not really a fan of her.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
She's really good in adaptation. She
Yeah, but she's just like a mean person, isn't she?
I haven't really looked
I've heard that
more
she's mean.
up into the Meryl Streep lore, so I can't really comment on that. But yeah,
Meryl Streep lore.
she was
She's
really
like a
good
mean
in
old lady.
adaptation, though. All the performances in the film were actually really incredible, but she was particularly really good in it. And hey, Academy,
That's good.
if you wanted to give her a third Oscars, that should have been it, not her playing fucking Margaret Thatcher, you stupid bitch. But to get actually back on track, let's actually talk about. Why don't you talk about some spoiler-free positives? Because you actually like this movie. Because I want to hear you out.
I thought that a lot of the scenes of him performing were good, although it was kind of weird towards the end whenever he'd be performing, and he'd be through like one song and he's like drenched in sweat. It's like that's probably accurate though. I mean, the bright stage lights and he's on like a 40 drugs, so it's probably accurate. I just thought it was like
40 drugs.
Okay. He's doing one song. Calm down, buddy. He's like about to pass out. He's like, oh. Also, yeah, those are done really cool. I like the costume design in the movie.
Sure.
Cause I don't know, Elvis be dressing kind of like
Goofy.
interesting. I feel like they could have had more of his funky outfits than they had.
His
but they
funky
had,
outfits.
yeah, like
Excuse
you know,
me.
like he wore the classic like white one with the rhinestones. You know, the V-neck popped open. But like, I feel like most of them he was just wearing suits that were funky colors, and I don't know, it looked cool though.
What? Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I really like those shots on Beale Street.
Alright, yeah, that's fair.
What were you gonna say?
Okay, so I'm looking at the trivia of Elvis from TV tropes. I don't know if this is fully true or not. If this is true, apparently one of the actors that was originally considered for Elvis Presley was Harry Styles.
Nah, that's he doesn't.
That would have been terrifying.
He does have the same look, like facially, his facial structure is like similar, but like he does wear weird outfits sometimes.
But getting back to what you were saying, yeah.
But he's not really an actor. He just is in some.
He is an actor. He was in Dunkirk.
I liked Dacre Montgomery was in the movie, and that's pretty cool. He plays Billy in Stranger Things.
Who is he again?
I don't know if you'll know. Okay, have you seen the clips of like the hot, sexy lifeguard, and he's like walking up to the MILFs, and he's like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Hi, Billy," and they're like, "Oh, I want him so bad."
No, I'm talking about Elvis.
that
Who's he
guy.
playing Elvis?
Oh, he's
I haven't not seen
he's
Stranger
mainly.
Things.
I know, so I was like, have you seen the clips where, I had to. Okay, let me go see who he plays because he's mainly in that scene where they're doing like the Christmas concert. He plays Steve Binder. He's one of the like the '70s guys.
He's one of the '70s guys. All right, that makes perfect sense
Yeah.
now.
When they do that whole Christmas concert and he like kind of ruins it, they're the guys that are arguing with what's his face, the Colonel. He's the one that they made him look like Austin Powers, so I'm not gonna lie.
Austin Powers.
Here, let me send you a screenshot.
Yeah, baby.
That's a gif. My bad.
Dude.
Here we go.
Watching those Austin Power movies was a wild trip, seeing the whole trilogy.
I actually haven't watched any of them.
You
Oh, he
only
really
really
does
need,
look like the guy.
you only really need to watch the first film. The sequels aren't really that good.
Apparently, Mike Myers is like really mean.
Oh.
Yeah, he's that one.
Oh, I think I know that scene. Yeah.
Viewers at home, Google it.
Apparently, Tom Hanks shaved his head to play the Colonel in this movie.
All that for that?
I know, right?
I just spoiled Stranger Things. No.
But
Because I just saw like a behind the scenes.
I'm trying to think of other things to talk about that aren't spoiler related, but I'm not too sure.
We've been going for a while on the non-spoilers. We could probably get into it.
Alright, viewers at home, if you're just listening to the audio, we're gonna spoil Elvis now. Not that it matters, this movie was everywhere when it came out, so you probably at least know a good amount on it, but again, if you haven't seen it yet, and don't want to be spoiled, skip to this timeline right now. Ooh, I hear arguments inside my room, that's fun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Also, it's a biopic, so I guess spoilers don't really matter because it's like
It's
real
based off a
life.
real guy. Yeah, that is true, but get into that. Uh,
Yeah.
to get into actual spoilers of Elvis, okay. I don't know if this makes me an asshole, but I thought the scene where he was crying over JFK's death to be really funny. I don't, I don't know,
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know why it's so funny to me.
I'm
Uh,
so glad you brought that up because, okay, I was thinking about this earlier and I was hoping I could think of things while I was at work and then I would remember them for the podcast. But I forgot that one. Okay,
yeah.
here's the thing about this movie that I didn't like. Um, they tried to do that whole Forrest Gump thing where Forrest Gump is watching TV and he sees like life events happening, like the JFK assassination on the news, and like, you know, John Lennon and like Elvis, he sees him on the news and stuff,
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh, it's a shame that
I love them so much.
they shot that young president. They tried to do that with Elvis, and it just didn't work very well.
Ah, God
It was
damn
too
it,
in
boy.
your face.
I just thought it was so funny because he was just like chilling there and he just saw the thing and he was like crying for a little bit.
He's doing a concert. He's like, "Sorry guys, I just heard about JFK. I gotta take a minute." I'm like,
Give me a minute.
the whole audience is like, "I'm wet right now. Come back." Like,
I'm wet.
so-
Oh yeah, that was a thing. Like they kept going like, dude, Elvis can make any woman scream, and it's like, okay.
dude, that was real though. Okay, you know people go crazy for One Direction. People go crazy for Taylor Swift. Not in that way.
I guess it was like the back then.
Dude, Beatles fans were crazy. Well, to be fair, Beatles was like the first taste of any semblance of rock and roll in Britain. Before that, it was like nursery rhymes and church tunes. I learned about this in one of my classes.
Hmm.
So then, like the Beatles showed up, and it was like, whoa,
Whoa.
uh,
Uh, I
dude.
good.
Oh, like the scenes of Elvis where he's doing concerts, and like he just starts kissing fans in the front row.
Oh yeah, he just makes out with them, and then it has like Priscilla
Awesome.
just watching it straight on, and she's just staring at him like, "What the fuck did I even marry this man?"
She's like, I'm so upset.
I'm so mad. But I guess going into Priscilla, man, I get that this was a biopic on Elvis, so she was probably not going to get the spotlight, but she was like in like 6 scenes in general.
Yeah.
She's played by the main actress who is in the horror film The Visit.
Oh. She was
Yeah.
like a teenager in that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize her.
Hold on,
Okay.
yeah, she was in that. She was in Better Watch Out. She was
Yeah,
in a
Better
couple of
Watch Out.
stuff. Just a bunch of stuff. She was in a bunch of stuff. Well, not a bunch of stuff. This is like her most famous role, depressingly.
Yeah. It should be Better Watch Out.
It gotta be Better Watch Out. I've actually never seen that.
I only watched the kill count, but I wanna watch it with you guys.
Alright.
Yeah.
Next Christmas film pick.
So
Good.
basically, Elvis has Priscilla played by an Australian actress, and Priscilla has Elvis played by an Australian actress. That's really cool.
That's wild, actually.
Jacob Elordi is Australian,
uh,
but we'll
okay.
get into that.
uh, I found this movie to get more and more frustratingly dull as it kept going. Like once it started to get into like Elvis's hotel and he was like trying to get the band and all this stuff, I just could not get into it at all. I was getting so frustrating. It was so frustrating, dude. I had to like legit like pause the movie because my brain was turning into mush, and I was just like, please, like, give me a second. Please, sir, give me more.
Please, sir. I
But
thought you didn't like the movie. What do you want more of it?
yeah, dude, like this movie did not need to be as long as as it was. Like I get it.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
biopic.
240.
I get it. It's a biopic, but like you have to make the film interesting. And no, being like a fucking fifth grader with playing with all like the edits you can do does not count as making it interesting.
Yeah, I think most of the enjoyment I get from the movie was like looking at the cool outfits from the past and then listening to the cool music and being like, okay, this is a
Yeah.
vibe.
Uh, Weirdly enough, found the only song to be kind of butchered. Again, I haven't listened to a lot of Elvis music, so who knows? Maybe all the songs are
Yeah.
butchered as hell. The only one I thought
That sounded fun to me.
found to be butchered was "Are You Lonesome Tonight." That's the only song I've listened to
Oh
Elvis
yeah.
prior to Elvis to this watching this film, and
Take a listen
it's
to
just it's just so like you compare it to the original. The original is so much better. It's like legitimately the only Elvis song that I love listening to. The original has such a quiet like tone to it, but it fits really well. But in this version, it's just only the vocals and not the tone, not like the soft like I think it was like a guitar. I think I could be wrong.
it.
God bless you, brother. But and it sounds so weird in comparison. And oh yeah, that was one thing I also wanted to mention. Like to explain a little bit more what I mean for the weird digital zoom ins. That scene near the end where the colonel was suing Elvis and his dad for the hotel. During that scene where Elvis was freaking out, going like, "That motherfucker, that son of a bitch." That's what it felt like. The digital zoom-ins were at their worst. Like it legit felt like how you know how in YouTube videos where they're uploading like let's say like Family Guy clips, but they have it like extremely zoomed in just to avoid
They have to
copyright.
zoom in every 3 seconds to a random
That's what it
corner of the
felt
screen.
like. That's what it felt like. That's what it looked like. It was so weird. um, yeah. So that was it. And okay, I know this isn't exactly spoiler related, but you want to talk about the weird music choices?
I was waiting for you to get done talking about all that stuff so I could talk about that. Okay. Also, it's really weird that they chose to play these whenever he went
It's
to Beale Street. It's like, they had to play rap music so you know that we were in like the black part of town? That feels kind of racist for a movie that's about
Boz Lerman, you son of a bitch.
being, yeah. The movie's trying to be like, Elvis is this cool guy and he loved black people, but he was stealing their
He
music.
loved
So like,
black
why did they?
people.
It's crazy pick to have during Black History Month, but like, why? Why did they try to make Elvis seem like he was this good guy that just like loved everybody? He stole music from them. And then they tried to make it like they were just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can sing my music. And it's like they
I
probably didn't
get
like that. I'm pretty sure some of them were actively like he stole my music.
I think like Eminem did a song in this. It was like in the end credits or something. he was like, I get it, bing bong spaghetti.
Ping pong.
I don't know.
Venom.
Venom.
They changed it to Elvis.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Elvis. That. All right. I feel like most of my issues are not spoiler related. Like, there's not like anything where I'm just like, wow, that's really dumb. That's really dumb in that like spoiler heavy scene.
I have one. Okay, I just listened to the "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" Yeah, it is kind of boring the way he did it. But okay, I have one weird little thing.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, whenever he decides, screw what they want me to do.
I'm gonna do my own
like
thing.
he's at like that baseball field. Yeah, he says, "I'm gonna do my own thing," which he also stole from Miles Morales. He just loves stealing from minorities for no reason. It's all.
Speak your
it's all he
voice,
does.
Miles.
Which leads me to something I have to say about Priscilla that I really liked. But I'll save
We'll
that
get
for
into
when we
that.
get there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll save that. But go ahead.
Like, he didn't say this is a cover to any of his songs. He's like, this is my song.
This
It's
is
like, you
my
can't just
music.
do that. That's called stealing. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this one. It's mine now. It's like,
It's like the Lazy Town song. It's mine, 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 mine.
For real. What was I
Uh,
gonna say? Hmm. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you were
That
mentioning.
scene where he's supposed to go out on stage and be like, "Wow, I love America, and I don't like shaking my hips around
Yeah.
and
Oh
making
yeah, yeah, I
everybody."
know that scene that you're talking about.
And it's like a baseball field or like a football field. I don't know.
I think it was a
So
football
sad.
field, but I don't fully remember.
And at first I was like, okay, this is a cool scene because he's gonna stick up
To the
for
crowd.
his like he's gonna stick up for his like black musician friends, and there's like this like I don't know, this like evil
The evil
rally
mama.
going on in this other part of
Oh yeah,
town.
yeah. There's like a Confederate rally.
Yeah, there's some kind of like Confederate rally
I
going
honestly
on, and I
forgot
was like,
that was there because
okay,
they mentioned that in like one scene.
why is this here?
Why
And I was
not?
like, okay, Elvis
It's
is
just to
gonna do
remind you
something
that back
cool
then
about it.
racism was there. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. And
Uh,
then you're like, okay, he's like, I love the people.
I love
And then
African
he starts
Americans.
singing his song and like wiggling around. And then the police are like beating people in the crowd and he doesn't notice or care. It's like, what is this scene? This is
I don't
crazy.
know, dude.
They're beating people in the crowd and people are like actively like trying to get away. And Elvis is just like, I'm not around. It's like, are you
Hamburger.
seeing this, bro? He's got sweat in his eyes because he can't move without sweating.
Can I also just say that I don't know why this film felt the need to like narrate with Tom Hanks. Like I don't know, I don't really feel like a biopic needed a narration.
Yeah. I think they can do it in like a cool way, but it was not done. No.
Mainly because it's Tom Hanks who does terrible in this movie.
Yeah, and Tom
Can
Hanks
you
is
imagine if he
like,
got a best supporting actor nominee for this film? Could you imagine?
I'd be so upset.
Like instead of like Kiwi Kwan, it was Tom Hanks collecting his third Oscar.
Okay, that's when you know the Oscars is rigged if Tom Hanks beat
I thought
Kiwi
you're
Kwan.
gonna say racist, which I guess that could also apply.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's what I mean by rigged. It's like rigged.
All right. Honestly, I don't have much else to say about all this.
I feel
Despite
like there was something I was gonna say.
I genuinely cannot think of anything else. I feel like that film just numbed me to a point that I cannot think about anything. But yeah, I just genuinely just cannot. Like when it comes to spoiler specific scenes, it's just the same issue. It's just like it's annoying. It's overly edited. Everything's boring. I just don't care. I don't care. Please end for the love of God. What do you mean you have 40 minutes left? Please end for the love of fucking God. Stop.
Some of the stuff I was just like, oh yeah, I knew that happened. Like the whole thing where Elvis has to go to the army and he serves in the army during the Cold War. Like that just like actually happened in real life. And that's so
Yeah.
funny. I think like peak of his career.
Oh,
It's like
was it the
he's
cool?
in
I thought it was the
army.
I thought it was the Vietnam War.
It was the Cold War. I looked it up earlier because I was like, wait a minute, isn't this like the 50s? The war is over.
Dude, the Cold War
It's the Cold
would have
War.
been.
So he was just chilling in Germany doing like nothing. But then, well, probably not nothing. He's probably doing like training and all that.
Yeah.
But also the whole thing where they tried to arrest him for being too slutty on stage or something.
that was basically it. It was literally the meme
Dude,
where it was like cover them
that
up,
actually
slut.
happened. Which it seemed like it was over dramatized for the movie, but like
Yeah.
no, that's actually like.
Once a movie, they make everything overly dramatic.
Yeah, but that part wasn't.
Fair
They
enough.
were like, we need to lock this guy up. People are too. They love him too much.
Do you want
And he
to?
shakes his hips, and it's not good.
You want to get into the final conclusion, the final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right, so we are done with spoilers of Elvis. Yeah, overall, Jesus Christ, like genuinely one of the most insufferable films I've watched in a good while. Tom Hanks is terrible in it. The editing is terrible. Baz
It's so
Luhrmann
bad.
does his typical like, look how cool I can make this look without it having any substance. Way too long, way too boring. Some of the technical aspects are fine, I guess. But besides that, you would have to like pay me a good amount of money to rewatch this movie legitimately. Uh, what about you, Mac?
I live 3 hours from his house.
Congrats.
One of my friends, I can't remember if him and his husband got married at his house or if they went there for their honeymoon, but
At the Elvis
he's
house?
a big Elvis fan. Yeah,
Oh,
Graceland in Memphis.
interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was like good. I think it's fun for the whole family, but if you just want to like, turn your brain off and watch a movie, then like yeah, throw it
I
on.
guess that's fair. I never
Tom
really,
Hanks.
I never really considered myself one of those people. I can never really turn my brain off of watching something. Maybe it's because I'm that I'm too hyperactive.
I was gonna say you're too autistic.
Yeah, yeah. What would you give it out of a 10, Mac?
I got like a 5, maybe a 5.5.
All right. I'm gonna be honest. I hated it so much. I genuinely think I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. Like I legitimately can barely find any things I like about it. I I wish I could be nice, but you did nothing for me, Baz Luhrmann. I barely felt anything watching your movie. Um, if you Moulin Rouge is actually not that bad. So if you want to watch like a decent Baz Luhrmann movie, there is that Moulin Rouge.
If you want to watch a good one, watch Romeo plus
I
Juliet.
haven't seen that since middle school, so I can't fully comment on that.
Yeah, same. I watched it in the ninth grade, and that was uh 7 years
That
ago.
was. Dude, I'm
Yeah,
still
that was
mad at my
7 years
ninth.
ago. That's crazy.
I'm still mad at my ninth grade class. Well, it's not their fault. I guess it's say I'm more mad at COVID because I was excited to watch To Kill the Mockingbird because I heard it was a pretty good film. But then COVID happened and it was just like, bruh.
I was a little upset with my aunt, who was my 10th grade English teacher, because apparently my class was just not good at writing essays. So we focused all of our extra like all of our class time on getting better at writing essays, and we didn't get to read the book.
That sucks.
But it's okay because I read it like the year before anyway, just like on my
Uh-oh.
own, and it was
Excuse me.
good. It was a really good book. I recommend it. It's a
Uh,
book podcast now.
a book podcast. That'd be.
Yeah, it's a book club, but
This is sponsored by Barnes and Nobles. Just kidding. No, it's not.
sponsored by Books A Million.
Dude,
Go in
let's.
there and see the weird. They pick the weirdest mangas to just display on the table. Like the freaking toilet
Oh, God.
bound, what's your face? Like, just right on
What?
the table? Come on.
Toilet bound.
Put that on the shelf.
Don't put that on the shelf, boy. Let's get into Priscilla. This was your pick, Max, so why don't you start us off?
Priscilla was so good. And it did an even better job at
I was gonna.
representing the different decades and stuff. I think
I
the
was-
costuming.
Mac. I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
introduce, like, what the film was about and stuff.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's cool.
Priscilla is about Priscilla Presley. You know, her it starts off when she's like 14 or something, and it goes up until
Yeah, she was 14.
her divorce of Elvis.
Yeah. It's basically like
Which
the,
is,
the story of
10
Elvis,
years?
but if it was, like, Priscilla's side.
Yeah. It's the story of Priscilla.
Basically. The origin
The story
story.
of Elvis but is Priscilla.
But yeah, to get into the stuff, this is a much more positive experience of this film. Mainly because Sofia Coppola actually knows how to edit a movie.
Yeah, and she's
No.
a good director.
Not to say like the directing and the editing are like out of this world, like insane, but it's at least like I can tell what's going on and nothing's like overly poorly delivered. Well, for the most part, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, I did enjoy this film. This is my second time watching it. I saw it in theaters, which was not really that packed. There was only like 3 other people in the theater besides me and my friend Tyler. and
Oh wow.
I it was definitely at first really loving the second rewatch, but as I continued going on, I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I wasn't too big on this movie, which I'll get into later, probably for
Oh,
the
you weren't big
spoiler
on this one
related.
either?
No, I like it. It's just that it's not like like huge. Like I love
Oh,
it,
okay.
but I'll get into that for spoiler reason. Like spoiler when we get into spoilers. Uh, but to get into the stuff, the main actress, Kalia Spency, is that how you pronounce it?
Uh,
You know how to pronounce things, Mac. You gotta
Kay-
help.
Kaylee Spaney?
That was not even close for me. God, I cannot fucking speak. Never put me on a fucking debate as a
Hey,
president.
just don't try to pronounce the actress that plays Priscilla's mom.
What?
It's like Russian or something.
Oh, I actually.
Dagmara.
Speaking of casting, I have a fun fact I learned about. You know
Uh-huh.
Elvis's grandma and Priscilla.
Yeah.
The actress who plays Claire in the OG Black Christmas, who was
Oh,
the
shoot.
yeah the opening kill of Black Christmas. That's not a spoiler. It happens in the first 10 minutes.
Spoiler.
It happens in the first 10 minutes. It's literally the poster. It's on the poster.
Oh, yeah, it is on the poster.
It's not a spoiler if the movie itself tells you it happens.
Dude, it's really crazy that that poster exists in the 70s, and
Yeah.
we all complain about how movie trailers are really spoilery now, but like that movie poster should have spoiled the first kill of the movie.
But yeah, that was crazy seeing that because she looks absolutely. Well, it's probably because it was like it's a 50-year gap, but it's crazy to see the difference of how she
Yeah.
looks. But honestly, the acting overall was pretty good. I loved the main actress. Jacob did a pretty good job, although even though it would have been funny, it definitely wasn't an Oscar worthy performance. I guess to get into the main debate of who did a better job, I personally think Jacob did a better job because I liked what he was going more with the character. Personally,
Yeah.
meanwhile, Austin Butler
Also,
was just
I'll
like,
say
"Wow, it's
that
Elvis." Go ahead.
the actress that I said that plays Anne Boyo,
Yeah.
Priscilla's mom, is actually Polish, not Russian. Okay.
How
Yeah, I
dare
think
you?
Jacob Elordi did a way better job at playing
A
Elvis.
way better job. Interesting.
Well, okay. Austin Butler, he had to go get like speech therapy to stop being Elvis or whatever. But like, I feel like his impersonation was a little too over the top, you know?
Meanwhile, Jacob, he ate
Jacob
like a
Elordi
pound
felt
of
more like a
bacon
real
for
person.
every day of the shooting of this film.
Yeah, you'd think he would have been like chunkier.
That is true.
He does have that like mewing jawline though, so I guess
Yeah.
that helped that, you know?
Uh, but yeah, the acting overall was pretty solid. I honestly, if that's probably the most snubbed nomination that actress who played Priscilla. She could have gotten a nomination. Um,
Yeah.
although to be fair, uh, one person pointed this out, and then once I heard it, it made so much sense. The Academy they kind of sprinkled the Best Picture nominees all to the other categories, so Priscilla was probably not going to get much. Plus,
Uh,
plus, I think A24 mainly put all their power into putting the Zone of Interest and Past Lives into the Oscar campaign, so stuff like Priscilla and the Iron Claw got pretty ignored. I haven't seen the Iron Claw yet, though. I don't. I've heard it's pretty good.
oh yeah, I heard that was snubbed from the Oscars, and I heard that it was good. I've heard other people say it was not good, but
I've heard people just say it was like like really depressing.
well, yeah, 'cause it's like a whole entire wrestling family like kills himself and dies.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't think they all killed themselves, but like half of them did, and the rest of them died. And it's like there's like
Uh,
one or two left or something.
But to
Yeah,
actually
this
get
was
back to
spoilered,
Priscilla,
yeah.
but yeah, that was the snub one. She did a really good job. Again, Jacob did a good job too. I just don't think it was an Oscar-worthy nomination. And everyone else, like, they were good, not like crazy good, but good. What do you have something you want to bring up, Mac?
This isn't really related to the movie at all, But there's like this one scene. Well, there's a few scenes where this happened. But I was noticing in this one scene where Elvis is like holding the door open for Priscilla, and she like gets in the car. I noticed like, dang, he's like so, like, this is like a crazy height gap.
Yeah.
So then I looked up. She's 5'1", so that's cool. And he's 6'5".
Yeah, he's a literal giant.
They are just making giants over there in Australia. That's crazy.
I honestly kind of liked how, despite the
Friggin'
fact that in any other
personality.
film it would be kind of seen as an oversight, I kind of liked how dramatic the height was, you know, for the whole theme.
Yeah, I think it really worked because I think the height gap fit the age gap.
Yeah. Let's get into the more saucy stuff about the story. Spoiler-free stuff for now, but yeah, it's really interesting to see the side. And listen, okay, it is so funny because I watched Priscilla before I watched Elvis, because before the podcast I haven't seen Elvis. I saw Priscilla in theaters. But it is so funny seeing the comparison of the first scene with Priscilla in the movie Elvis to the first scene with them talking in the room alone in Priscilla. It is such a huge contrast because they make Priscilla like this energetic like woman who just is not nonstop chatty in Elvis. Meanwhile,
To be fair, it's because she is like a 14-year-old.
that is true, but they
So she's like, oh, you're so famous. That's so cool.
But compared to like Priscilla, it's definitely a lot more quiet. Meanwhile, Elvis was just like she was just going all over the place and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was watching the movie and I was just thinking, this is like all those weird little One Direction fanfics, but in real life.
Maybe that's what it got inspired by.
Like, you know the whole thing, Harry Styles shows up to your house and asks your mom if he can adopt you and keep you. And it's like, what? And you can be his pet or whatever. And the mom's like, okay,
whoa,
have
what
fun,
the
sweetie. Have you not seen those? They're like
I don't look
crazy.
at fan fictions that much.
Oh, me either, but...
Yeah,
I've
me
never
either, I
just
don't, I
seen
swear.
one wild one on your Instagram for people to like laugh at.
I thought.
I've
I
seen
really-
like memes about them.
What were your thoughts on the soundtrack for this film?
I thought it was pretty good. They didn't have not a spoiler. They didn't have Jacob Elordi actually sing full-on Elvis songs. They actually used the real Elvis songs. And now you're taking me to something I said that I would save for later. The
Oh.
ending song, "I Will Always Love You" by the Queen herself.
Yeah.
Why did I just like instantly forget her name? Dolly Parton.
There you go.
Cause like a lot of people think Whitney Houston, that's the original. It was actually a cover that she did for the movie she was in. Was it Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know. It's really cool to hear Dolly Parton do her original rendition.
Yeah. The only
I
time
know a song you thought was weird.
well, I didn't think it was weird. It just I actually liked the song. I just thought it was kind of
Okay.
goofy. It was the weddings song, like scene, because it sounded like
It sounds like
like
SpongeBob.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like SpongeBob, but like SpongeBob and Patrick are like baked out of their mind. Like they could not.
I think it fit the vibes, but yeah.
I get.
It's like
yeah,
70s,
that's
like
that's fair. I just thought it was
or
really
60s,
goofy.
60s.
Whatever the hell it was. I really loved how in the opening it kind of shows a glimpse of what Priscilla was like during Elvis before it takes you right into like the beginning of it. I thought that was I for some reason didn't notice it that much in the first watch, but during the second rewatch I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really loved how they did that, and there's other times where they do some cool stuff with the directing here. Again, this is not like an insanely directed film. This is not like give this woman an Oscar for the love of God. She already has an Oscar, but still. But it was good. It was like very well. The framing of some of these shots were very interesting. Like the way she decided to put like I remember specifically like there was a shot with the hairspray going on like Priscilla's hair, and the way it was framed was pretty interesting. I haven't really seen a film shot it like that before.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at her other movies. I
Uh,
don't think I've watched any of Priscilla Presley's, or not Priscilla, Sophia
My
Coppola's
precious.
other movies that she's directed.
I haven't
But
seen
I don't
any
know, she's supposed
other.
to have an eye for that stuff, because, like, that was great.
I know she did Lost in Translation, which I'll probably see soon. I know my friend Alex really hated that movie. Well, not really hated, but he didn't like that movie at all. But I really like the. Honestly, weirdly enough, despite the fact that it's way less show-offy compared to Elvis, I actually like the makeup and hairstyling more in this movie compared to Elvis. And I can't
Me too.
fully I can't speak fully explain why. I tried to be fancy, but then it backfired. But I just think it looks better. Maybe you can throw a more interesting take on there, Mac.
I think with Elvis, it felt more costumey, and in Priscilla, it felt more like maybe they found authentic 50s and 60s pieces for this movie. That's what I was saying, like, I don't know, I feel like the clothes that they wore felt more real. I don't know. And, like, the makeup, there's a few times whenever she put, like, her makeup, like, unpacked her bags, and I was like, wait a minute, is that, like, actually, like, 60s makeup that they, like, went and found? Because that looks like it actually was. Or else, if it's not, it was a good, recreation of it.
One contrast that I noticed during my second rewatch, because I watched Elvis in mind, is one dramatic difference is the coloring and lighting. In Elvis, it's like a very
Yeah.
vibrant movie. Meanwhile, Priscilla, the colors are a lot more like I wouldn't say like
Realistic, I guess.
yeah, I guess realistic is the word. I was gonna say more muted, but not in a bad way, because which again fits with the film. I feel like that mostly could have been because of the low budget, but also because I don't know. I just felt like it would have made more sense and all that shit, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other things that are spoiler free related, but do you have any,
I mean,
Mac?
they didn't really make Elvis seem like a complete monster.
Yeah, I thought I
It
always
was just like a guy that was not a good.
I I always viewed it as more like exploring the complex nature of Elvis and Priscilla's relationship. Like
Yeah.
once you get past the fact that Elvis was
He's a
dating
predator.
yeah, once you get past that, you can definitely see why Priscilla and Elvis loved each other. Compare like again, he is a predator, but also you could also see why they both fell in love with each other. Is that weird to say? I don't know if that's like really bad.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of like dictated what she wore, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, it is true.
not very cool. But like,
Yeah,
he had a couple like
yeah,
tantrums.
yeah. He had an outfit because it was brown and it reminded him of the Navy.
He hated her
Or the
dress
army,
because
not
it
the-
wasn't like fitting enough. He's like, go return that. She was like, fine, I'll return it.
The fucking dress. That was the first like swear word in the movie.
Yeah, she said, fine, I'll return the effing dress, and he was like, oh, okay.
Damn. Do you want to get into spoilers now? Since we're talking
yeah,
about,
cause,
you got
yeah,
some stuff
'cause
to
we're talking
say.
about something gross, and I have a spoiler.
All right. Okay, audio listeners, again, we're gonna spoil Priscilla now. This is a recent film, so if you haven't seen it, I think this film is pretty good, so you should probably watch it on your own time. But we're gonna get the spoilers now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mac.
Okay, so like, first of all, screw that guy in charge of the entertainment who tried so hard to get Priscilla to meet Elvis. What was his deal?
Maybe he was the unknown predator too, because yeah, he was going after the 14-year-old like it was fucking shark bait.
Yeah. "Oh, I noticed you come in here every day, and your dad is, you're stationed with your dad. Like,
Please see Elvis.
yeah, I'll go talk to your parents so you can go meet Elvis at his house. Yeah, like that was really
Yippee!
weird." And his wife was on it too. But then, okay, that sounds like extra gross part though. Whenever Elvis meets her, and they're talking, and he's like, "Oh, what grade are you in? Junior, senior?" And she's like, "I'm in the ninth grade." And he goes, "Phew, you're just a baby." I was like, "Ew."
And then
Why did
5 seconds
say
later, just like,
that?
damn.
He's like, "Come back over, give me a kiss." He did give me a kiss the next time. Right?
It's like a real life story, and we're just making jokes about it.
Well, it was like, I was just like, "Ew, why did he say
Hi,
that?"
yucky.
Why did all the women love him? He had no regrets.
Uh, what were your thoughts on the chair scene?
It was so quick. I didn't expect it to be that quick. I'd seen clips of it, and I thought there was more to it.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh wow," and then all his buddies are just like, "Oh, watch out."
Watch. Do you know what's funny? This was so far. I've seen with Tyler. I've only seen 2 movies with him. We watched this and Moonlight together. And one thing I said to him was like, "Why do we watch so many movies that feature chair abuse?"
Oh yeah, I forgot the Moonlight does too.
How could you forget it? That's like the best scene in the movie. Well, maybe not the best scene, but that's.
I thought the best scene was when they're on the beach.
Of course you did. But anyhow, but yeah, I guess I can finally get into my main issues because they were really spoiler related. I think the pacing of this movie really drags around the final stretch of the film. I find, funny enough, as soon as Priscilla graduates, the pacing just goes to a screeching halt, and it feels like things are either way too overly explained or things are underdeveloped. Like the karate thing
Yeah.
just came out of nowhere. Let's be honest.
It's so funny. And in the next scene, they're like having dinner outside, and she's got her like karate instructor.
And then it's
friend there.
never mentioned again.
She's talking about like she accidentally hit him in the nose or something, and he's like hee hee hee.
Uh,
That
but
was
yeah,
funny.
I found the pacing of this film to be really inconsistent by the end. It's just like so many things.
I feel like it could have been on purpose, though. I feel like
Mm,
it represents the marriage.
I don't know because it kind of at points it just kind of felt like okay, we're getting just the same scene again of Elvis being a cunt. Like okay, cool.
Yeah.
Or
I
it's
have,
just
I
like
have one little problem with Priscilla and Elvis as people in this movie
okay,
because they have their child, Lisa Marie, and then most of the scenes with Lisa Marie until Priscilla takes her to LA, they aren't even like taking care of her. They have a lady to take care of her for them.
yeah.
Priscilla isn't allowed to have a job. She can't take care of her own kids since she's home all day. That's so weird. I feel like rich people are weird.
Rich people
Like
are
that's
kind
your
of goofy.
child.
But yeah,
They,
as of
they like take pictures with her and they're like, "Okay, go to this lady so you can get your snack." Like
but
that's your
Yeah,
kid. Go
that's-
fix her a snack.
But
Elvis, come on.
that's such my main issue. There's so many scenes where I'm just like, okay, that kind of felt like it could have been cut, or that feels really underdeveloped. Like, and it kept going on. Like these issues kept piling up for me, and that's why I find myself more enjoying the film than really liking the film. Like the first like act and the second act are really great, but the third act is kind of messy and could have probably been better with some rewrites. I know it's based on a real life person in a book, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like
But
I was too focused in like the slow scenes you were talking about. I feel like I was too focused on like the set and how beautiful it was.
I
Like
get
when
that.
they're
Yeah.
when she's in California, it's so like wow. LA in the
California.
70s, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's another scene.
And when
that came
she's like
there.
in her house doing nothing, it's like, man, Graceland Mansion looks so cool. It's so full of like, I don't know.
Nothing.
This is what rich people in the 60s thought was just like the coolest thing ever.
What were your thoughts on the film ending compared to the scene in Elvis where Priscilla leaves Elvis?
I feel like they gloss over it in Elvis.
That's what I mean. It just kind of happens.
Because, okay, in Elvis, okay, he, like, has a little episode, like a drug-fueled episode where he shoots in a hotel room, and then the next, like, he's, like, sleeping with this woman, and the next scene, Priscilla's like, I'm leaving you, Elvis, and Elvis is like, is it because I sleep with other women? And she's like, no, I don't care about that. It's because you're crazy and you're on drugs. And
At
then he's
that,
like, oh no.
oh no.
And that's it. It's like, oh no, my wife. And then that's it.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
so much more
Priscilla,
quiet.
it's like, this
in
is
Priscilla.
the focal point. This is the end all of the movie, you know?
Yeah.
She can be her own person.
It's interesting
she,
because
like, left him.
Priscilla approved both films. She approved both Elvis and Priscilla. I just find that interesting. Yeah, I really like the comparison to that because Elvis, I find it to be so overly dramatic. Like it's the most like that film is like definitely has its over dramatic scenes, but I found that scene in particular just be like okay. Like you can tell it was definitely not like that fully.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Priscilla, it felt like a real interaction.
Yeah. You're like, okay, wow, they're living their own lives completely separately.
And
so she's like, might as well just like leave.
yeah, get out of here.
That's basically what is already happened.
I will say though, Elvis might be a disgusting person, but his grandma is innocent. I love the grandma in the movie.
Is she innocent? He brings his 15-year-old child.
I guess yeah, she is.
Over.
I don't know.
And she's just like, oh, ain't this little girl cute? Oh, she's so cute. Yeah, you can date her. That's so cool.
That is true too. I just kind of found the grandma to be kind of fun to watch. I don't know.
I did love Grandma. Everybody called her Grandma too. Nobody called her by her name. I thought that was great.
Everyone called her Grandma.
Yeah. The whole thing about her being Grandma Dodger, because he threw a ball at her and she dodged it. That was funny.
Yeah, I don't really have.
Both the movies made Vernon Presley, Elvis Presley's dad, seem like kind of mean, and
especially I think it was more apparent in Priscilla, if I'm gonna be honest.
He wasn't really in Priscilla much.
Well, for the few scenes he was,
Yeah, he's like, you can't be in here hanging out. They're trying to open fan mail or whatever.
Meanwhile, Elvis is like, tries to paint them more as like, okay, the colonel was manipulating him. He was just looking overseas and all that stuff, But
yeah.
Which, regardless of what you think about that, I don't know. I mean, the current, like again, Elvis's dad is not the important aspect of the film. He's just kind of there because he was there. I feel
like he was
more
stressed out than anything. I feel like he wasn't like necessarily bad, but like
He's like, oh god.
He's over everything. Also, you know what threw me for a loop for a second? Okay.
What?
So the scene where Elvis comes home and
Elvis what?
Granny and maybe the cousin had just got supper ready, and Elvis comes in and he's all excited because he's been away, and he says, "05," and I was thinking, "Daddy 05." I had the subtitles on too, and it was like, O'5, and I was like, "What, Daddy 05?" And I was like, "Oh, that's his little friend group."
Elvis Presley is friends with Daddy 05. That'd be terrifying.
I thought that Elvis's friends were really funny in the movie. I liked them. Priscilla.
I kind of forgot about them. I'll be honest.
Yeah. There was a lot of like fun little moments. I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely. Like all the fun stuff happened in the first and second act. Or at least like the good stuff. I should not say fun. It's not fully a fun movie.
No, but it did have fun moments, and I feel like, I don't know, that's life, I guess.
That's life.
I mean, he gets in a bulldozer.
Yeah. Priscilla gets a gun.
Priscilla gets, like, multiple guns, like, one for each outfit. That's crazy.
Like, she can't get a job, you can get her, like, multiple Glocks. Like, okay, Elvis.
No woman of mine's gonna work at the boutique part-time while she's in high school. But, she can go to a high school.
Dude, do you think that high school that like classmate that helped her cheat on the final exam? Do you think she got pissed off later? She was like, "That motherfucking bitch lied to me,"
How would be?
because you never see her again. Like that's the last thing you see of her.
Dude, that just unlocked a memory.
Yeah.
This is a weird girl in elementary school. That like I tried to be friends with her to be nice, but she's actually kind of mean. So, but like I was like, okay, I'm gonna be friends with this girl. And then one time she told me she invited me to her birthday party, and
You?
she said that Sam and Carly and Freddie from iCarly would be at her birthday party. And then my parents didn't let me go, and I was so upset and I cried because I didn't get to go. But like, they weren't at her birthday party. She just lied to me.
No, no, they weren't.
And I believed it. It's like, why did I believe that was real? This like, this girl from this like really small town just somehow got the cast of iCarly to come to a birthday party, and I was like, yeah, that's real.
Do you want to get into the conclusion of Priscilla?
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, so we are officially done talking about spoilers for Priscilla. This is your film pick, Mac. Why don't you start with your overall thoughts?
I thought it was overall. I thought it was really good. I watched it at 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, she was really crunching for time.
Yeah. My bad.
That's fine.
But
At least you
I
watched
thought
it.
it was good. Visually, very good. The casting was great. Elvis was really creepy, and everybody was fine with it. Oh, something I forgot to say. Priscilla's parents were just pushovers.
That is true.
They were like, "We don't want you dating this boy." And then he's like, "Okay, but can't you
Please!
I won't do anything weird." And then they're like, "Okay, I guess we have to, or else she'll run away or something across across the country." She ain't gonna do that.
But to get into my thoughts, I enjoyed this film. I've seen it twice, and my thoughts have been mainly the same. It's a well-made film. The lighting in particular is really great in it. The acting is pretty solid. It's overall a really good film. I just really do not like the pacing in the final act. I just genuinely think it kind of ruins the movie for me. But overall, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's not closer to an 8. It's not closer to a 6. I think it's a pretty nice and solid 7. What would you give it, Mac?
I'd also probably say a 7,
Nice.
but I don't know. It leans towards a 7.5 or yeah.
All right. All right, we've officially got done with talking about the two films for this. I figured since this time we're not in a time crunch to do anything tonight, let's ask each other like one question. Since again, the comic section. If anyone's watching this, you can do that. But for now, I can't fully rely on them.
Yeah, live comment section.
Yeah, chat, come here. But
Chat.
but I'm trying to think of a good question. If you have one in mind, you can say it right now.
Like a movie related or just like for fun?
I was gonna say for movie related, but you can also do
Okay.
a random question if you want.
I was about to be like, what's the craziest editing you've ever seen? But I think we all know that's Bohemian Rhapsody, the table scene.
I haven't. I actually haven't watched that scene in entirety. I've just seen
Me
it.
either,
But we've seen it enough.
Yeah. We saw enough. We saw all
Dude,
we needed
everyone
to
I
see.
know loves that movie, and I don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
I'm usually not a fan of biopics, honestly.
That's
If they're
fair.
about musicians, they're usually pretty over the top, like Elvis. So I was like,
Yeah. But, what is an actor you think got snubbed of a nomination for a film?
You already know. Christian Bale, American Psycho,
That is true. That is true. He did get
2001. He got
2000.
snubbed hard.
Oh, I guess 2001
2000.
technically,
Oh.
because you know what
Whichever
happened
one.
in 2001. Who's who even
What do
won
you mean you know what happened in 2001?
it?
Are you
Okay,
meaning
back.
the disaster? What do you...
No, I'm talking about the Oscars.
Oh,
Yeah, Russell Crowe won for Gladiator. He was fine.
that
in
was the
Gladiator.
real disaster.
No, Mac. I'm trying to think of one in particular. Hold on, give me a second. Let me look at some movies I like.
Alright.
I'm trying to make sure. Um, trying to fully think here. Let me look at the films. Let me look at my films. I guess the what's his? I don't know how to pronounce his full name. Sung Ching Hu for Parasite. Uh, Foreign actors have won Best Actor before, so I don't see why he didn't get at least a nomination. I know he probably would have lost to Joaquin Phoenix because people were just like, Joaquin Phoenix did the best acting ever whenever Joker came out, and
Yeah. Wait.
I would say
switch character.
he was really snubbed for Parasite. He should have gotten an acting nomination. He could have even probably should have won, if I'm being honest. But again, people are just like, Joaquin Phoenix did the best job ever at Joker, and it's like, okay. But do you have a question in mind, Matt?
Are you saying Sejun Park? Is that who you're saying?
What?
Sejun Park? Is that the one you were saying? Got snubbed?
Sung Kang Ho.
Oh, Sun Kyun. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did get snubbed.
All right. What about you? Do you have a question in mind?
What's the best adaptation you've seen?
That's actually a really good question.
Or do you think that there's an adaptation that's actually, or like a remake that's better than the original?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think there is. There's some that are better, but only by. There's a film released in 2000 called Gone in 60 Seconds. It's better than the original, but it's only good because it actually follows a plot and characters, unlike the original, which just meanders for a good while. I feel like there was one in particular that I really liked over the original. Give me a second. There was a film called Insomnia, released in 2002, directed by Christopher Nolan. He's been a weirdly recurring theme in this session, but whatever. The original is fine. It's cute. It's cool. Whatever. But honestly, it's kind of really boring. And the original and the remake makes it much more compelling, mainly because the main character is not just an insufferable dick. He's still a flawed character, but he's also just not like, God, I can't wait to see him just fucking like die or something. I don't know. But yeah, what about you? Is there like a remake you thought that better than the original?
I think I had one in my head and it's kind of gone. Oh, no, I can't say that one because I haven't seen the original.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, well, I guess I can because it is an adaptation of the book. I think The Thing.
Oh yeah, The Thing.
It's really good adaptation.
Oh, The Thing. That's such an easy, obvious answer too.
Dude, It Chapter 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen either. Either of those.
You haven't seen either of them?
I haven't seen either of that or the original.
Oh.
But dude,
I'd
The Thing is such an
Chapter
obvious
1
answer.
is better than Chapter 2, but like that's because you don't get the fun dynamic with the adults. But like they did their best with that.
The Thing, it was such an obvious
good.
answer too. Now that you say it out loud, like I actually have seen the original too. It's so fucking boring.
Dude, I feel like some movies that are just that old, they're just so boring because things were so simple back then.
Fair enough.
There are a lot, like there's plenty that aren't boring, but some just are.
My favorite movie that is also the oldest is probably Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. It was released in the 30s. Holds up way better than
Oh,
you would
wow.
ever expect it to.
I thought it was gonna be 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men is also up there, and it's a Wonderful Life. I always think there's a such there for some reason. And Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is really good. I think it released the same
yeah,
year
you've talked
as
about that
12 Angry Men too. But yeah, okay. Well, I guess we could just get into the next film picks. If you want to leave questions for us, just comment down below. But who knows? I don't know. But do you want to go into your film pick, Mac? I already have a good feeling I know what it is, but
Say one or two.
why? Can you not
So
decide?
I'm deciding.
Let's go with one.
Okay, we're watching Her.
All right, that's what I expected, honestly. What was number two? I'm curious.
I Love Dogs.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Her is your next pick for real this time.
Yeah, for real this time.
All right, so I can finally put the Her poster up now. Yeah, there it is. Look at that poster. Oh my god. I have my pick. This is a bit of a long title, so
It's
bear
a good
with me.
poster.
Okay, so my
Oh
film
boy,
pick
what's the long
is
title?
a 90s comedy called To Wong Fu Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It looks so interesting that I kind of want to talk about it.
These are gonna be such very different movies, and I think that that's gonna be really fun.
It's about like three drag queens who just travel around the world. Well, around the world. They plan to because they got like a note, and we're just like, let's just take this around. And their car stops, and they're just stuck in a town.
Oh, it's got RuPaul.
It has Wesley Snipes, who is Blade.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze is in it,
Yeah.
and John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say that.
All right, so that's our next film picks: To Wong Fu and Her. Some really
Yeah.
different picks there, but you know, what can you do? So that's what we'll be talking about. If you want to join us for the crowd, you know, you can watch those movies for yourself. But again, I mean, there's probably going to be not that many people watching this, but who knows? But that is all. Overall, this was a pretty fun topic. It's a fun time. It was fun to finally talk about a movie I don't like, just to sprinkle some variety in there. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Mac?
I just have to say, shout out to me for picking back to back, Priscilla and Her movies with excellent coloring. Her is like top tier coloring, man. It's so.
Her's been in my films I want to see list for a good while, so it'll be fun to
Yeah,
finally
because I've
knock
told
it
you
out.
to watch it like 10 times.
Hey, I've told you to watch like Wet Hot American Summer like 10 times, so it's
I
like
know.
a contrast. You and Robbie would love that movie.
We will watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be the next film. I already said that. I'm like repeating myself. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. We will see you in a month from now, most likely. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Do you want to say goodbye, Mac?
Yeah, goodbye, guys. We'll watch movies and then we'll come back.
Get away for now. But yeah, adios, boys and girls. Yep.